Welcome to WWE Locker Talk, the show everything WWE past, present, and future. This is episode 7, and joining me, as always, my co-host Colton.
How you doing?
And I am Matt. I apologize for not being here on our last episode. I flew out to WrestleMania, and I tried to enter myself in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But apparently, according to security, you need to be an actual superstar for that. So keep that in mind.
I think you're a superstar.
Thank you. This is episode 7, and it is our crossover episode of baseball meeting wrestling.
As you can see, Matt and I are wearing the jerseys of our favorite baseball teams. Yes, we are somehow still friends, being Cardinals and Cub fans. This week, we thought we would do an episode where, so you could say, if the WWE had a softball team that they would face against other wrestling leagues, or an all WWE baseball team, we thought who would be the best wrestler for any position in baseball. So we've got ourselves a team, we've got a lineup, we've got pitchers, we've got everything. So Matt, why don't you start it off with the first batter in our lineup?
All right, well, batting leadoff in our lineup is our left fielder, Kofi Kingston. And we put Kofi Kingston where we did because he's just really athletic. That's the kind of guy you need in left field and the outfield. Leadoff man, he represents like that leadoff type. I mean, I could see him batting around 298, maybe 310 in a good year. I could see he has reasonable power, popping maybe 10 home runs, leading the league with 50 stolen bases. He's just an overall leadoff hitter.
Batting second for our all WWE team, shortstop Dolph Ziggler. I feel like we put Dolph in this position mostly for his defense. The fact that Dolph Ziggler is going to make these amazing defensive plays and make them look easy. He's gonna lay out for every ball. He's gonna show off like only Dolph Ziggler can. He's gonna put up solid offensive numbers, but you're really gonna remember him for his defense, like an Ozzie Smith did way back in the heyday. Overall, I think Ziggler would make a great shortstop. I think he pairs with our second baseman really well, which we'll get to later.
Right, batting third. Our first baseman, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is put in the first base position because, as my co-host made a point while we were running through this, first base, you don't need a whole lot of skill. It's mainly a power position. All you got to do is stand there, catch the ball. And he would be a power bat. He would blast around 25, 30. If he's juicing around 58, 60 home runs. The batting average, I don't see it would be there. He doesn't seem like a batting average type. But he would have that intensity factor. Where you face him, you're kind of afraid of him, but you know if he's not going to get a home run, it's not such a big deal. Kind of like a Jason Hayward type where it's a threat, but it's not a hitting threat. I mean, he's going to go yard a lot. He's going to bat around 250, 260.
Yes, as with our cleanup guy, as you know in baseball, if you follow baseball at all, the cleanup guy is your power guy, and this is our DH, even though I don't agree with having a DH in baseball. That's a different point. Brock Lesnar. Our DH. Matt said it when we were going through this. He just has the thing where, like, Brock Lesnar is our DH. That's one of the first things we agree on. Brock Lesnar just seems like a DH. He's going to hit balls like no other. You don't really want him in the field because he's not going to be that quality. The same thing with, like, you don't really want him on the microphone all that often. Brock Lesnar is going to hit 30 home runs every year. He's going to knock in 115 RBIs. He's just going to be a consistent power guy, which you are scared to death to face in the middle of our lineup.
batting fifth, and the other part of our corner infield, Cesaro, giving that Italian flair to our lineup. Cesaro, he's a third base type. He's big, he's muscular, he can do athletic things. He's a great position at 5 to bat, because you have Roman, Lesnar, Cesaro. That's a murderer's row lineup. I mean, if Roman doesn't hit him in, Lesnar will hit him in. If Lesnar doesn't hit it in, Cesaro will definitely hit it in. Cesaro would bat amazingly there. He wouldn't have outstanding home run numbers, but I see him as also a OPS, on-base percentage, for those of you that don't know, and batting average to be high. He could steal some bases. He's just an overall all-star, I'd say, at baseball, if he played baseball.
Yes, and batting sixth in our lineup, center field, Seth Rollins, your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. To me, Seth Rollins is a fast, athletic guy who's going to make some great plays in center field, but he's also going to have a great bat in the middle of our lineup, towards the bottom a little bit. He's gonna bat 320 every year. He's gonna have a high batting average. He kind of reminds me a little bit of a Mike Trout. He's athletic. He's gonna have a little bit of pop, not as much as the rest of our lineups, is why he's a little bit lower. I'd give him 15 home runs a year. Mostly, he's just going to be a very successful outfielder. Center field is usually your best outfielder athletically, and so he's just going to be able to cover the whole field, make great plays in the outfield, and have a great bat. Really, there's no bad spot in our lineup when it comes to hitting. Well, maybe there's one, but yeah, Seth Rollins batting sixth, playing center field.
Baseball is America's pastime. Therefore, this list would not be complete without the All-American batting seventh, playing right field, Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger was just an obvious choice here. Right field's a power position historically in baseball. Swagger has power, and he's an American. He's going to be running on that field with that American flag, waving it all the time, which might cause a little problems with chemistry with a different person in our lineup a little bit later. But he's the type of person, you have a Jack Swagger bobblehead night for the kids. First 200 people get it, 9 and under. I mean, he's just that kind of a person. You don't trade him. He's like a franchise player. He might not bat amazingly. He'll probably have a pretty average glove. But he's just someone you don't really trade. He's just on the team. Everyone loves him. Everyone has the jerseys. He's definitely in the right position in right field, and he would just be a fan favorite.
All right. Batting eighth, second baseman, Daniel Bryan. This is where I'm talking about the hot middle infield. You're going to have Bryan and Ziegler making some great, outstanding double plays in the infield, robbing players of hits. But at the same time, I feel like Bryan's going to be a solid hitter. He's definitely not going to be the star of our team, as he is in the eighth position. He's going to hit solid average, low home run numbers. He doesn't have a lot of power, but he's still going to surprise you. His on-base percentage is going to be pretty good, but he's not going to have a lot of power. He's not going to be a lot of showy. He's just going to be there. He's going to be a solid hitter and defensive player who you're going to want on your team, but he's not going to shine in the power numbers. Everyone likes seeing home runs, but he's just going to be a solid guy that you need on your team, and you would hurt a lot if you didn't have him on your team.
From Bryan to Ziegler to Roman, I don't think that's going to catch on, but oh well. Batting ninth, our catcher, Rusev. And he just has that catcher body. Colton and I know someone who we played baseball with who played catcher all through his baseball career, and he has a similar body. Mind you, it's not muscular. It's fat, and then Rusev's muscular, but similar body.
It's okay. He's never going to watch this.
Rusev, he's that kind of guy that, like if Kingston's the outfield or Ron's the outfield, he's going to just laser that ball into Rusev, and you're going to try to truck him, but it's just not going to work out well for you. I mean, unless we trade Lesnar, and Lesnar would truck him, yes, but we have him, so that's okay. Sorry, Ring of Honor. So, he's not going to bat extremely well. He's going to have catching batting numbers, which, aside from a few catchers, is pretty poor. But he's just going to have that consistent Golden Glove type seasons where he's just all the time in the backstop. He's definitely not going to be our permanent catcher, though, because our number one pitcher will probably want one of our bench players, actually, to catch him, and we'll explain that later on.
We're going to explain it right now. Our first pitcher, let the booze rain down on me, John Cena. John Cena is the star of your team. He's been around a long time, putting out quality stuff for a long time. He's what you want the face of your franchise to be. He's going to go out every 5 days. You're welcome. We only have him showing up for you every 5 days. But he's going to go out there. He's going to make quality starts. He's going to keep your team in the game when things aren't looking so great. He's going to be there for you no matter what, and that's what Cena does. He's there every week, and this is definitely what he brings to our team, a star quality and a consistent guy throughout.
Our second pitcher is also an ace, Randy Orton. He's our finesse guy. He's the guy with the cocky attitude that gets paid a lot of money. Randy Orton's he's going to be solid out there. He's going to be that veteran that doesn't put up with any rookies. Definitely Cena Orton as a top two rotation. That's unbeatable, really. That's going to win you playoff series. We just cut the rest of the lineup and pitch those guys one after another. They refuse to quit wrestling anyway, so why not refuse to quit baseball? Anyway, Randy Orton as our number 2 starter. He'll be an all-star.
And just when you think our lineup might drop off a little bit, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Our third pitcher is Bad News Barrett. He's the guy who's just going to come out. He's just going to chuck fastballs right by you. You're not going to be able to hit it. And at some point, he'll surprise you. He'll throw a changeup. He might throw a slider. But really, he's just going to power through you with that strong bull hammer of an arm. And you're just not going to want to face our team, even after you've already seen John Cena and Randy Orton. Now you have to face Bad News Barrett. And that's just a great baseball nickname, too. Bad News Barrett. I love it.
Our fourth starting pitcher is coming at you with a 78-mile-per-hour fastball. And maybe a 68-mile-per-hour curveball, and that's really all. His arm can't handle much more of anything else. He's going to come at you at about 98 to 100 innings a season. And that is The Undertaker. He is our veteran pitcher that refuses to quit until he reaches 300 wins. And we just put up with it because he's a legend. Undertaker there really represents also Undertaker in WWE, where he has that career that's just, illustrious. He's done everything. He has nothing left to accomplish, nothing left to prove to anybody. He can ride off into the sunset, first ballot Hall of Famer. But he just doesn't seem to want to put up the wrestling boots. So naturally for our baseball team, he wouldn't want to put up the glove and cleats until he reaches that one milestone that he's reaching for, but not everybody else, I guess, sees what he's reaching for yet.
And now we're moving on to our relief pitchers, the guys who come in after our starters. And this first guy, you're just not going to want to face him after facing a Randy Orton or a John Cena or a Bad News Barrett. And that is Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt is our setup guy to get to our closer, who we will talk about in a little bit. Bray Wyatt is just going to come out there and intimidate people. He's going to be a little crazy. He's made you going to wonder whether he's going to throw a fastball right at the back of your head. And he's just going to intimidate you, and that's how he's going to get through. Not necessarily the best stuff, but he has stuff to make him effective, and with the intimidation factor, make him a great relief pitcher.
Our second reliever is our long reliever. You haven't really seen him in the WWE recently do anything, but he would be our Greg Maddux type reliever, painting the corners, really finesse, maybe dancing after a few pitches, I don't know. And that is Fandango. Even the name radiates finesse. He would be our go-to when that number 4 starter we talked about only gives you 3 innings of work every outing. Fandango steps in, finishes it off solid. He's definitely going to be someone you'd want on the team. Maybe not an all-star, maybe not recognized a whole bunch, but someone that has that intangible factor that you don't always see on the stat sheets, but you want him because he makes that difference.
Yes, and our next relief pitcher, Zack Ryder. Why? Because our contract says we have to mention Zack Ryder at least once every episode.
All right, and our closer, is actually inspired by someone named Mitch Wild Thing Williams, who you also maybe have seen inspired in the movie Major League. And that is the lunatic fringe, Dean Ambrose. Now, I'm not saying he has control. I'm not saying he has even a little bit of control. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. And we're going to lose a lot of close games. But Dean Ambrose is our closer, and we're sticking by him.
I agree. He was our first choice when we tried to think of who we all wanted for a specific position. And Dean Ambrose was our closer from the very beginning. Every great team has to have a solid bench. And so our first bench guy is the guy you want in the late innings. When you're down by a run, you have a guy on first, you need him to hit a home run. And that's what Ryback is going to do for our team. He's kind of like a Roman Reigns. He's either going to hit the ball a long ways or he's going to strike out. He might also get caught for using performance-enhancing drugs, at which we'll have to bring up somebody from AAA, maybe a Kevin Owens, to be on our bench. But other than that, Ryback is going to provide a great power bat off of our bench.
Ryback will also be John Cena's personal catcher. That's that Rusev thing we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Next on our bench, it's a combination of power, speed, and overall fan appeal. And that is Adrian Neville. You kids might know him as Neville. He's going to come off the bench in those situations where maybe a starter needs some rest, and he's just going to play his heart out. Maybe over 162 games, with the chances he's got, maybe he'll steal 20 bases. He'll knock in maybe 8 home runs, somewhere around 30 RBIs. His batting average is going to be nice. And he's someone you can plug in the outfield, infield. It's what we in the baseball world call a utility man. And these, if you have a good utility man, you are going places.
I agree. Our last bench guy is also going to be a great utility player. I see him a little bit more playing middle infield. Tyson Kidd coming in if you need a great defensive replacement at the end of a game, even though our defense in the middle infield, as we already said, is very solid. You're going to see Tyson Kidd come in. He's going to get on base, whether it's through bunting to get on. He's going to find a hole. He's going to find some way to get on base, and you're going to want him to start a rally late in the game. And you're definitely going to want a guy like Tyson Kidd coming off your bench.
All right. Our head coach for this team is a talker, and he will get thrown out of games. He might pick up second base and throw it. Paul Heyman. And let me tell you, the locker room is laced with barbed wire because Paul Heyman does not tolerate losers. Contractually, we can't tell you what happens if we lose enough games in a row. I just tell you it's bad news.
That it is. Our hitting coach for our all WWE team is William Regal. And it might sound odd to you, but I feel like this makes perfect sense. This is a guy who knows all the fundamentals, all the basics to know how to play the game and play it well. William Regal is at the top of the list of the fundamental guys in wrestling. He'll out-wrestle just about any guy you put him in a match with, and he knows all the basics that you need to make a great wrestler, and in this, a great hitter.
Our pitching coach, and really when you think about a good pitching, like a pitching battle, a duel, like you'll see this Sunday in the Adam Wainwright-John Lester pitching duel, Cards against Cubs. Tune in and watch it. It's going to be spectacular. ESPN. You think about a great show-stopping event, no hitters, perfect game, striking out 19 people. So who better to be our pitching coach than the showstopper himself, Shawn Michaels, HBK, Mr. WrestleMania. He will be our pitching coach. And you don't like John Cena? Well, you do now because Shawn Michaels is now coaching John Cena on how to be a better person and a better pitcher. It's just the perfect fit.
And last but certainly not least, we have our commissioner, or as we're going to call him, our commissioner of operations, Kane. Why did we pick this? Just for the fact that he doesn't want Pete Rose anywhere near baseball or a wrestling ring. That's about it.
All right. That is our team. And in comments and contacting us, I ask you guys, if you liked it, please put together a baseball team for Ring of Honor, TNA, Lucha Underground, and we will plug it into our computer system and see who will win. Spoiler, it's us, because you guys suck. Anyway, now for our announcements portion of the evening. Colton, do you have an announcement?
Yes, I do. And actually, as this show is going to air on Saturday, we're actually filming on Wednesday night. And if you haven't done this already, I will mention it on Twitter. Tomorrow, or Thursday, is Matt's birthday. And so if you haven't done so already, I just want to make sure that we all wish Matt a happy birthday. And that's really the only announcement I've got. I know you've got a few more. So if I haven't, forget to say it tomorrow. Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you. Well, I don't have any announcements other than next week our show will be actually pretty spectacular. I think it's going to be our best show yet. And we're going to do a show about our favorite ladder matches. And when I say our favorite ladder matches, I don't just mean, oh yeah, we really like the original TLC matches. Everyone loves them. Let's move on from that. We're going to talk about underrated ladder matches no one talks about, forgotten about. So there's going to be no Razor Ramon Shawn Michaels, no TLC. It's going to be raw, it's going to be uncut, and it's going to be brought to you live. Well, re-recorded, and then you'll watch it live.
Yeah.
It's time for our hashtag portion of the evening. And in honor of a very special person making his main roster debut, hashtag Red Arrow.
And as always, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at wwelockertalk. If you like the show, make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, not describe our channel. We've already done that for you if you want to look in the information box. So once again, make sure you like us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, like this video, subscribe to the video, leave us a comment right down there. Tell us your thoughts. As Matt said earlier, you can leave your roster for TNA or Ring of Honor or anybody you'd like there. But other than that, whoa, whoa, whoa.
You know it.